Well, so welcome to our class today. We are doing healthy cooking. Right over there are some recipes. Yep, if you'll pass the recipes around, that's what one of the things we're cooking today. It's ginger chicken. It's a stir fry. And there's also a paper there for notes and a bowl of pens if you guys want some pens. So pass them
Can I
around.
grab any of these for anybody else? Sure.
I can go first.
Oh. Depends on the table. There's.
Notes if you want to take notes, recipe if you want to take home what we're cooking. Okay, so before we get cooking, let's just talk about food real quick. Last week we talked about fasting. Some of you were here for the fasting class. So on the other side of fasting is feasting, right? We want to feed our body healthy food. And there's all kinds of food that we eat just because it's there and available, so we eat it. But one thing that we want to do is make sure we're eating good things on purpose. And you can do that through healthy recipes, and there are tons of recipes online. You can Google all kinds of healthy things on there. But today we're going to do stir fry. It's a ginger chicken stir fry. Stir fries are a good way to get in a healthy protein and lots of healthy vegetables, because you can kind of put whatever vegetables in a stir fry that you want. You can also use healthy oils. So let's talk about oils for a minute. Oils have been, I think, under attack or mismanaged for a long time. First it was no fat, don't eat any fat. And then they realized that was not good for you. And then they say, well, eat this kind of fat. And they realize that's not that great. So I'm going to tell you the oils that I use that I have found work for me and are generally accepted as healthy oils. One is olive oil. Olive oil is the ancient oil, right? It's been used for centuries in cooking. Olive oil is great. I like to use it sometimes when I cook because it does have a flavor to it. And sometimes I don't want my Mexican food tasting like olive oil, so I don't use it all the time, just sometimes. Another oil you can use is avocado oil. I use avocado oil most of the time when I cook because it doesn't have a taste really to it, and it does have a high smoke point, so it can get pretty hot and not break down. So that one really is my favorite.
So does that mean the olive oil has a lower smoke point and breaks down when you cook it?
Yes.
Okay.
So olive oil, you don't want to get super hot, extra virgin olive oil. There are refined olive oils that you can get hotter. I don't think they're as healthy, so I don't use them. I use the deep, dark green olive oil. Another one you can use is coconut oil. So here we have solid coconut oil. If you want a healthy alternative to pie, we're coming upon pie season if you didn't know. So if you want a healthy alternative to Crisco, coconut oil is fantastic. I use it when I make pie crusts, and it makes them flaky and lovely, and it's not Crisco, which is hydrogenated oil. It's hydrogenated oil. Coconut oil is too, but it's naturally hydrogenated in the processing of it. In Crisco, it's chemically hydrogenated. So there's a difference in how it's done. Nature always does it better, in my opinion.
Just do exchange straight across?
Yep, straight across exchange. So if you're going to opt out for Crisco, go with coconut oil or butter. Butter's always good too. And then this is the liquid coconut oil. It's medium chain triglyceride coconut oil. And this is good to, I don't cook with this one. I put this one in smoothies or tea or protein drinks. It's an easy way to get healthy fat in your diet without adding more fat to what you're cooking. So
I do cook with both of those, the coconut. Sometimes I'll use avocado oil, sometimes I'll use coconut oil, sometimes I'll use MCT oil in the pan, like when I'm sauteing. They all are okay for that.
they are, yes. That's how I use it. She uses it all kinds of different ways. But so those are the healthy, in my opinion, those are healthy oils. We know avocado oil is widely accepted, olive oil is widely accepted. There's a little bit of controversy about coconut oil, but the Islanders have been using it for years, so I think it's great. So those are some oils that you can use, healthy fats to get your fat in for your day, okay? When I do sautés, I don't, if I'm making Oriental food or just a stir fry, I will use coconut oil because it does have the coconutty flavor and it's so good. So those are your healthy oils. Does anybody have questions about that? No? Okay. You all are brainwashed. Just kidding. Just kidding. So, healthy oils. It's important to use. We also want to use fresh foods. So that's another reason we're doing stir fry today, because we're using fresh foods. We're going to gently stir fry because it's flash fried, right? We're also going to do sheet pan cooking. So sheet pan cooking is, there are a lot of ways you can do it. Today we're going to do vegetables. You could easily add a protein like chicken or fish or shrimp or beef or pork. Today we're just going to do vegetables. But it's a one pan and you're done dinner, and they're great. So you want to make sure you're using some fresh vegetables, and then you want a good protein in your dinner because protein is good for you. I think that's it. Yes.
What do you think of stir fry frozen packages?
Frozen. You know, sometimes I will buy a frozen stir fry vegetables that are all cut up for you. Why not? They did all the work for you.
Okay.
And sometimes this recipe doesn't call for it because sometimes I don't follow the recipe. I use kind of what vegetables I have or add things like water chestnuts and bamboo shoots are great in Chinese food, so sometimes I'll just add those to them. They're not on this recipe, but I do add them to this from time to time. So,
Can I just speak up real quickly
Yes.
on the frozen? I get the frozen packets of stir-fry vegetables sometimes because sometimes I just need quicker and easier than this, even though this is quick and easy. And the one thing is that, you know, they pick it, process it, freeze it quickly, so it's pretty fresh. My husband can always tell. You can always tell. He'll say, this is frozen, isn't it? Yep, the carrots have a different texture just because it's not quite the same as fresh, but you don't lose a whole lot of the nutrients from it.
Do you use it straight from the package?
I do.
mm-hmm.
You
I
betcha.
have two, but it.
Even if it's iced
water.
over, it just
Yeah,
gives a little extra steam, and then I take the lid off and let it evaporate.
there you go.
You bet.
Okay, we're gonna do a this, you don't have this recipe, but you can write it down if you want, or you can just Google sheet pan roasting vegetables, something like that. I was looking one up before I came, but I couldn't find one that I liked, so you get the one that I make for my family. So I'm just gonna use cauliflower and broccoli and onion. I'm just gonna cut them up into bite-sized pieces. Maybe. And when you sheet pan cook, you kind of want to get things close to the same size so they cook about evenly. So we're just going to do some bite-sized pieces in our pan. Cauliflower is so versatile and it's so good for you. Anybody not like cauliflower? That's pretty good stuff. It's one of the cruciferous vegetables. It's a cool growing vegetable. It's good for your heart. The cruciferous vegetables are.
Can you guys see how big she's cutting those, or is that bowl in your way?
No,
You're okay?
she
I'll
said
show you.
about the same
Sorry.
size.
Depends on how big your mouth is.
They're not exact, right?
They are not exact.
No rumination.
Pictures are always exact.
This is the home cooking show, not the pro cooking show.
have to
Okay.
have one more tool, measuring tape or something.
All right, we're going to add some broccoli, because broccoli is so good for you. Anybody not like broccoli? So good. I picked good vegetables. So broccoli sometimes gets a bad rap. This is a little bit drippy. Sometimes broccoli gets bad rap for being gassy and burpy and whatever, but it's so good. And it really is good for you. It's one of those dark green vegetables that are good for you. It's very versatile. Steam it, fry it, deep fry it, anybody?
Or just eat it.
Or just eat it. Just eat it.
That's when it's the most gassy when it's raw.
Yes.
It's because
Yes.
it's a sulfuric vegetable, which gives you a different mineral in your diet, but it does have that added benefit. Okay, this is our bite-sized broccoli. I'm just going to show you bite-sized.
You did good.
Thank you. Bite-size truly is dependent on the size of your mouth, right? I don't have a very big mouth. It's more average size. I have two hulking men at home that have bigger mouths than me, so sometimes when I'm at home, I'll cut it bigger, and then I don't have to take as many bites. Okay, there's that. I'm going to do just a little bit of onion. And you can chop your onion however you want. I'm just going to put it in about half the onion. God should have made that a little easier to come up, I think. All right, and I'm just going to cut it in thirds this direction, and then just kind of chunk it a little bit. You see that size? Okay, and I've preheated the oven to 400 degrees. So we're going to put it in there. This is where we're going to use some good fat, okay? So we're going to put some olive oil in there, and probably about a tablespoon or two.
I don't know if everybody knows this, but adding the oil to the vegetables actually helps your body to assimilate the vitamins and minerals from the vegetables better.
I didn't know that. Okay, Deborah.
You get much more out of any vegetable that you eat if you have a little fat with it.
Maybe that's why I like eating mine with
Dip.
Dip. Yes, knew where that was going. Okay, so I'm just sprinkling salt and pepper on, and that's totally to taste, right? Everybody has a different salt tolerance, different pepper tolerance. So just to taste. And I'd rather undersalt than oversalt, because then you can always add a little more if you feel like you need more. Just kind of stir these up a little bit. Put that olive oil and salt and pepper all over. Now you can add some garlic to this. You could put some, if you like it spicy, you could put some cayenne pepper on. You can put Parmesan cheese on and roast it. Very good that way. Italian seasoning, Parmesan. Very good. Okay. Put it on this pan. This is why it's called sheet pan cooking. Putting it on this pan. And I lined it with parchment paper because it makes dishes much easier. And just spread it out a little bit. I'll hold this up so you guys can see. So it's not pretty, right? It doesn't have to be pretty. It's just going in the oven.
It's not gonna burn, the parchment paper doesn't burn.
Oh, it gets a little brown, but I'd rather have a little brown parchment paper than scrape my pan, personally. So
It
I'm
is
good with
intended
that.
for cooking.
Yeah.
I've never even thought about it.
Yeah, it
As
works.
old as I am, I
You learned something new today,
Well,
huh?
that's for sure.
Every batch of cookies I make these days is cooked on parchment paper and then yep.
So we're just gonna let that cook.
I've started buying the parchment paper sheets,
Oh,
like
yeah.
at Fred Meyer's or something, and I don't know how much it, the difference is, but I like it a whole lot better than ripping it out and trying, because I gotta get it just right.
I didn't know that was a possibility. I'm going to.
Oh, yeah, you can even buy some at the dollar store and they're not really cost. I do it all the time, because I have to use the smaller.
It's at 400, and we're gonna cook those for about 16 minutes.
That is a quick meal, isn't it? 16 minutes?
Yeah. And it depends on what you're cooking. If I had some meat in there, I'd cook it for maybe 20 minutes. So, but you can Google that. Like, there are so many sheet pan recipes. You can look them up online. Lots of different ideas. You can put balsamic vinegar on there and cook them. Very good.
I like to do fajitas that way too. So I'll do the onions and peppers and usually chicken or steak and just put it all in just like that. Season it with salt and pepper and oil and a little bit of, I make, just a homemade fajita seasoning, and 20 minutes it's done, and I don't have to mind the stove the whole time.
Sheet pan cooking is fantastic. Okay, I need a volunteer. Who can work one of these like this? Anybody? Yeah, you want to come and peel my carrots for me? Okay, we're going to start the ginger chicken. Oops, here's a trash can for you. Okay, if you'll just peel those into there. I like to get my vegetables ready before I do the chicken. That way I don't have chicken juice on my vegetables. So, this calls for peas, and I just buy the bag of peas because I don't know how to get them. Well, I guess you can get them loose like at Window, but I just buy the bag of peas. It also calls for chopped up cabbage, and for speed, this is great. If you go for economy, just buy a head of cabbage and shred it up. That works as well. It calls for carrots, which she's peeling, and a couple green onions.
This is not Dr. Smith approved peeling posture though.
No, it's not.
We won't tell long he's not here. He'll never know.
I wasn't paying attention.
You're not peeling Dr. Smith approved peeling.
If he was here, he'd want you to do it.
All right.
He might watch this.
Don't do as I do, you guys. So I want to know how he feels.
That's what you get for being a volunteer. My mom, this is my mom and dad's kitchen, right? My mom usually peels directly into that sink and puts it down that garbage disposal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking too, but it's all right.
She was doing as she was told.
She's doing great.
I get my bendovers today. I did do some squats this morning though. Good job.
Okay, so it calls for 3 green onions, and I'm gonna just chop these up. At my house, I buy probably 3 or 4 bunches of green onions and just chop them all up at once and then freeze them so I can just take them out and use them. Because, I don't know about you, but I rarely use a whole thing of green onions before it gets all slimy and gross. So that's one shortcut that I do. She's got some big towels for you. Thank you. I'm just going to cut up the stock here.
I didn't know you could freeze them like that. They come out well, huh?
Oh yeah, it's great.
I always throw half a bunch away.
Yeah.
You were helping the vegetable grower.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna take the carrots and cut them fancy, sideways, not sideways, slanty carrots. On the bias is what it says on the thing, right? Make them pretty. Pretty food is fun to eat.
You're a fast chopper.
She's put up lots of veggies.
I've got lots of vegetables. My son was asking me the other day, how do you do that? Do you move the carrot No, don't move the carrot because you just cut your finger off. Just need the knife. So in this stir fry or any really oriental stir fry, you can use carrots, you can use celery, you can use peas, you can use green beans, you can use zucchini. Anybody still have zucchini?
One.
Yellow squash.
Yes, you can use all kinds of vegetables in your stir fry.
Asparagus.
Asparagus is very good, yes, in stir fries. I got my thing wet. Okay, so you can buy ginger at the grocery store and use your shredder, use a shredder to dice it or mince it or whatever. I cheat and buy it in the tube, so I don't have to do that. So just so you know, you can do that. It works just the same. It's just ginger. Let's see, ginger, carrots, cabbage, peas, green onions. Perfect. Our vegetables are cut up. Before we start cooking our vegetables, we're going to start the rice. So to make this a little bit healthier, we're going to use half rice, and I use basmati rice. It's long grain. It's the best rice. You can get it at any grocery store, basmati rice. I buy mine at Sam's Club in a big bag. It's very good. So we're going to do half rice, half riced cauliflower. It decreases the amount of carbs in your meal and increases your vegetable intake, and you can't tell the difference. And you just do half. You can rice cauliflower on your own, or you can just buy it from the grocery store pre-done for you.
If you rice it on your own, you just put it in the food processor and pulse it until it's about the right size.
So on rices, what's your take, white rice versus brown rice?
They're different, right? So brown rice is nutty. It takes what, 15 minutes to cook. It's a whole grain. You can use it. I think it comes down to what your preference is. Yeah.
Right. My brown rice, there's just 2 of us in the household. I cook my big pot of brown rice and I freeze it.
Oh,
Put it in Ziploc bags, flatten it, throw it in my freezer, boom,
nice.
red.
I do the same thing with
Very
mine
good.
because there's only 2 of us. So there's black rice too, which is really good. The one thing with the different colors of rice is you get different nutrients from all of them. So they all do have their place. It is a lot to do with preference, and you can also mix and match them. Like the black rice cooks about the same length of time as white rice. I usually use Jasmine. She's clearly partial to basmati. But they cook about the same, right? Same length of time. There is a lot said in, the health food world about brown rice being better, but each has their place.
I think more, you kind of want to stay away from the refined rice. Like quick minute rice is stripped down to the bones rice, right? So try to get the whole, as much nutrition out of it as we can, so you get good long grain rice. So we're going to do half a cup of this one to 2 cups, right? 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. This is the ratio we're going to keep the same.
So you're doing half a cup of the riced cauliflower and half a cup of the rice.
Yes, and 2 cups of water.
Well, you're cooking them together.
Then no.
Then your cauliflower will taste like rice.
Oh, got it. Because I thought you were just like throwing.
Nope, we're going to cook them together.
Do you ever use just cauliflower or do you use rice?
I use just riced cauliflower often, if it's just for me. My husband prefers it half and half. He doesn't like just the straight cauliflower, but you can use just riced cauliflower. It's also nice, especially coming into this time of year, we're gonna have turkey and all of that. I don't know if you guys cook your turkey carcasses down and make broth. I usually cook all my carcasses down and make broth. And then every time I make rice, I use some of my stock instead of water. So it gives it more flavor, but it also gives it some of the minerals from what you boiled down from the bones.
That takes work.
I freeze it and like, yeah.
I tried doing
Class on the raw.
Yeah, it's super easy, I'll do it.
I tried doing that. My husband kept saying, "What is this? Can I throw it away?" No, you can't touch it.
See, I have my husband trained. He rotates it for me and keeps it going.
Yes. So it comes down to preference and husband, maybe.
So do you keep going like day after day and just add?
I do it day after day. I'll do a class on it. Okay, I'll do a class on it.
Yeah, well, sometimes your dad said, just wait till, in a week I'll do something, and then 6 months later, I'm like,
Okay, so short
Just
story.
basically.
Short story. If I cook a whole chicken, I'll put the chicken in the slow cooker, cover it, or I'll strip it down. So bones, all the yucky stuff, the bones, the skin, just all the yucky stuff.
Yeah.
Put it in a slow cooker, cover it with water, just so it's just covered. Add about a teaspoon of salt, squeeze half of a lemon into it. You can do a splash of apple cider vinegar too. The salt, the lemon, and the apple cider vinegar help to pull the minerals from the bones. And all the other yucky stuff that you don't like to touch with your bare hands, there's a lot of collagen in there, and it pulls the collagen out of there and the gelatin out of there, and that's what makes it a little bit jiggly. So it gets the good stuff out. And you want to put it on a low, set your slow cooker on low and leave it for about 24 hours. And after 24 hours, pour it through a strainer and keep the liquid. Put the yucky stuff back in the slow cooker and cover it with water and repeat. And I do it until I can push the bones and they disintegrate. That's when I know all of the minerals are out of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
to
do
get
that
out
with chicken?
thank you, and then you
I
can
do
set
it
the
with chicken, I do it with the turkey carcass. You can also do it with fish. I have not ever done it with fish because all of the fish I buy is boneless. In California, a lot of people would go to the Asian markets and buy the chicken feet and add that because there's a lot of the connective tissue stuff, the collagen and gelatin in there. I never did that, but you can.
You can do it with soup bone. So if you make stew from a soup bone, you can use.
Yeah, you just
The
want to
bone,
make
so.
sure that what you're using is like a decent quality.
For me in the first place?
Yes,
Okay.
decent quality animal that
So
it's
when
coming
you're
from.
putting all you're calling yucky
Yeah.
into the crock pot, it's already been, all of it's always been cooked.
It's cooked.
All right.
The meat's been taken off, so you can use it for.
Like if you've made chicken soup from a whole
Yeah.
chicken, or if you've roasted a chicken in the oven, take what's left after
Everything
you've
you
eaten
would-
all the meat and put it in the pot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything you would normally put in the trash, put in the pot. You can also add like the ends of the carrots that she was just throwing away. You can throw those in. You can throw your
All the stuff
celery
that
ends.
I am putting in the trash.
You can add it to it, and it just adds flavor and
You just want to
nutrients.
eat it.
So what was the measurement, like, what did you say? I know half a lemon. And
Half a lemon. I usually will do about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and a teaspoon of salt. You can go up to a tablespoon of salt, but sometimes it makes your broth saltier than you want.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
get on that topic, but
that was perfect.
it's a really nice way to add extra flavor and also nutrients to your rice or your soups or everything.
I'll be looking forward to when you do the.
We are gonna keep you on that.
That's an easy one. I'm happy to teach that.
Okay, so to the recipe, we're gonna make the sauce first. And I don't use cooking sherry, I just use water, because I never have cooking sherry, ever. I never buy it, I don't know why, but, so I just use water, interchangeable. So we did 3 tablespoons of cooking sherry as water, and a tablespoon of water. And then add 2 tablespoons of my soy sauce. And I personally don't use reduced sodium, I just use plain old soy sauce. So, but whatever you use,
Okay, so as she's measuring this, I'm gonna tell you what I use, because we are trying to help feed this up as much as we can. I buy the organic Kikkoman tamari sauce that's reduced sodium. And I get the organic one because it's made from soybeans, and that means if it's organic, then the soybeans were not GMO. So I care about that, so I just make sure I get the organic one, and it's called tamari sauce. They also, it's the same thing as soy sauce. I don't know why they call it something else. And I get the reduced sodium so that I can add real salt and get the saltiness. Or I will use Bragg's coconut aminos, which is
So I
also,
usually buy the Braggs. I usually
Bragg's
buy
is
yeah,
good.
you can use them interchangeably with soy sauce. You can do
Right.
coconut aminos also. They're a little more expensive and a little bit more difficult to find,
Like,
but interchangeable with soy
so,
sauce.
so is Bragg's as good as this, or you
Uh-huh.
prefer this?
I use either or. Yeah, I always have both in my fridge.
Okay, so we're gonna heat up some oil. If you guys wanna move around and like actually watch me cook, you're welcome to, or you can just listen to me cook. So we're heating up the oil. As soon as it's warm, we're gonna put some of this vegetables and stuff in there. First thing's going in is our ginger. Okay, our sheet pan stuff thinks it's done. It's not quite done, so we're gonna put it in for about 5 more minutes. And the reason I know it's not done is because it's not as brown as I want.
Pull it out and show us.
Pull it out and show you. So you just want a little bit of brown on it. And it has some. You can see there's some brown here and here and here. But my cauliflower, not so much. So I'm just gonna add it 5 more minutes to that, okay?
So you don't need to stir that, huh?
No. We stirred it around before we started. So,
I usually do stir it halfway through, but you don't have to.
see, sisters? And different perspectives, right? Gives you a different perspective on there's more than one way to skin a cat.
She has more people in her house, and usually it's just me and my husband, so I'm like waiting around, and it gives me something to do.
Okay, so we're just gonna let that sit in there for a minute. There's oil in there. Just put that ginger in. Gonna let that just fry for a little bit. It says 15 seconds. We're just put so you can smell it really. Not from over there, but from here. You want to smell it clear across the room. That's too hot and too long. Okay, so put the carrots in. Then cook around for a little bit. Can you smell that yet? Can you smell the ginger? I love the smell of ginger cooking.
What was that?
She loves food. The smell of food, you know. When my son is cooking it? Yeah, it always tastes better when somebody else does it.
True.
You know the sound of somebody cleaning the kitchen.
So this meal from start to finish really only takes about maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes with the rice, right? But not very long. And it's a healthy meal that you can put together quickly. Which is, I don't know, one thing I really like, quick meals. We're gonna put some cabbage in here. About 3.5 cups. Let that cook around a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna turn that down a little bit and put some chicken up. And I'm kind of a baby when it comes to chicken. I don't like touching it. I'm good touching any kind of beef. I don't really like touching chicken. But I will for you.
Thank you.
So we're just gonna cut it up a little bit. So the recipe just calls for boneless, skinless chicken breast. I just cut the fat parts off. I don't like the fat parts. And we're just gonna cut it up nice and thin. And if you have a super sharp knife like my mother, it doesn't take very long. This is an infomercial for Cutco knives. I don't have Cutco knives, they're a great investment.
Yeah, so I usually have to saw my meat to cut it, and I have Cutco knives that need to be sharpened.
You see how easy that was to cut? I love those knives. Then give this a little stir. And yes, I touched it with my bare chicken hands. I'm gonna wash it off. Don't worry. Another thing I like about stir fries, we talked about good things a little bit with them, is you can, if you're handy and preppy, you can prep things way before, right? Days before. Somebody told me once they cut up all their vegetables at the beginning of the week and just use them throughout the week. I was never that prepared, but if you're somebody that likes to plan, you can do that. And it makes it even quicker. And we want the chicken pieces to be about the same width, so they cook evenly. The chicken is ready. I'm going to swap this out and wash my hands. It's another reason I don't handle raw chicken. I have to wash my hands all the time.
So my secret is that I have a package of latex gloves in my kitchen. And I will wear them, especially when I'm stripping down the chicken carcass and all of that, because either my husband does it or I wear gloves and do it. But that's also because I have sensitive skin and I'm trying to just be careful that it doesn't like to touch everything. Latex gloves, I'll touch anything you want.
There you go.
You guys laugh, but you're gonna try it, I know.
I used to laugh at her for using dishwash gloves all the time because her hands are so sensitive, and she always got out of dish duty, right? Not anymore with dish gloves. But now I use them because it saves my hands. Gonna add some of those peas to this. Let that fry up a little bit. You guys can come look at the broccoli and cauliflower if you want. Because we're flash cooking, that's all we need to do with that.
That looks fantastic, Denise. Bright colors.
It's gonna taste good. Yeah, you know if you, it's not overcooked because it's still bright and vibrant. Okay, just bring out some of the color in that. I'm gonna add some more oil so we can add the chicken. Sunday dinners. If you guys want, you are welcome to come up and have some.
I'm gonna go get some tester plates and
I've got some.
oh, you have the plates? Okay. I didn't want you guys to be suffering.
Come have some. I cooked it for you. Come have some food. Oh, you need a skipper. Here's a skipper. I'll even put the salt and pepper in here if you want more salt and pepper. And yes, it's real salt. Dr. Smith's house. Oh, don't take this one yet. This isn't, no, this one's not done yet. You can have that one. We're just doing the sheet pan. You need some chicken and sauce with that. You got onion, you took it, you gotta eat it.
Denise,
Yes,
are you doing a different recipe on Wednesday? I'm being asked.
same recipe. Yeah.
Good to know.
Yes, same recipe. I thought about doing a different recipe, but Dr. Smith does the same class all
Oh,
week.
I shouldn't give you a fork, sorry.
You can come back on Wednesday, it'll probably be better. So, like I said, this one we used broccoli, cauliflower, onion. You can pan fry just about any vegetable. I've done some like end of season pan fries with my garden, tomatoes, zucchini, onion. That's very good.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different combinations you can do. This is just a simple one. You can put asparagus in there. Asparagus on a sheet pan, fantastic. Olive oil, some garlic,
Oh, yeah.
Parmesan cheese, so good. And the cleanup is super easy.
So one of our favorites is with diced up sweet potatoes, carrots, and onions with some olive oil and salt and pepper and rosemary.
Ooh,
It's delicious.
that would be good.
Butternut squash,
All the-
little chunks of what?
Yeah,
All done the same way, so just get creative.
yeah. Any vegetables you like, just toss them on there. Salt and pepper and olive oil. Just waiting for this chicken to cook, and then we're gonna put the sauce in.
If I just got vegetables, my husband would say, "Where's the meat?"
Mine too.
Mine too.
Down on the meat.
It's coming.
But you can put the meat on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But it's really nice to do the sheet pan veggies alongside of a nice seared steak or, a piece
Like
of salmon
dinner.
or, yeah.
Yeah, tenders.
Okay, so the chicken is done. So we're gonna just move it to the side of the pan and add the sauce.
Yeah, it is.
And we're just gonna let that cook and thicken up a little bit, and then we're gonna add the vegetables back in.
Well, I'll
Did you guys like that broccoli and cauliflower?
Yes.
Not too bad.
Is that right? Yeah.
Nice too if you do like a stick on it.
Yeah, I think it is.
If you didn't see any other cheese on.
Yes.
And I live here. Yes, you do.
Okay, it's all thickened, the vegetables are in there. And out of there. Okay. We're just gonna stir the sauce around, and it's done. It's ready to eat.
Can I have some now?
You sure do. I'll let you have some now. Okay, and it's been long enough, this is ready.
What's cool about it?
So, here's your stir fry. Nice and colorful chicken, vegetables in there. Do you guys have any questions about today?
Talking about the knife.
Yes.
The knives,
Cutco.
Cutco.
Yes, Cutco knives are
Forever sharp.
forever sharp, and if they ever do get dull, you can send them in and they'll sharpen them for free.
Or you can call the people to come to your house and sharpen them, and they'll come and sharpen them, and they'll also make you want to buy more.
So it's spelled just like it sounds.
Which is why I have dull knives.
They're expensive, but they're a good investment.
They're fantastic
Yes,
investment.
Cutco, Cutco. I think
You get them on.
you can buy them online at Walmart, not Walmart, excuse me. Costco, like 2 weeks ago, had a Cutco demonstration at this club, and so sometimes they always are at the fair. Always. So
That's usually where you will find the vendors, is at home and garden shows and different fairs, those types of events.
okay. Your cauliflower rice is ready. There you go. You come up and give that a try. Okay. So if you guys are good, don't have any questions, I'll finish up, and
Thank you.
now
Thank
you can
you.
tell Dr. Smith you know how to make. I'm sure you know how to make healthy
So
meals.
where did you get the liquid coconut oil? I've never seen that before.
It's usually sold as MCT oil.
It's what?
It doesn't always say coconut. Usually it says MCT oil.
I think I got this at Walmart. You can get it at Walmart, Winco, Wealth of Health, online.
Usually it's in a bigger, rounder bottle.
One sheet to buy.
When you can find it. It took me a while to find that in the store. I had ordered some previously that I got just online.
Yeah, and I usually order mine online. They also do have it usually at the health food store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.